Hello, thank you for pressing play today and joining me for this special project. I'm going to show you how I created this little sort of scrapbook card. I saw it once on telly on a crafting shopping channel, and I always wanted to make one, and here I am making it. So it's for a 40th birthday, as you can tell, and it's opens up like this, and it's got pockets with little messages in and little tags with little emojis and things. Some of the stamps I've used on this are retired and some of them aren't, so that's one side, and then we flip it over and that's the other side. And I am now going to show you how I created this. So to make my little mini album, you need 3 pieces of 6x6 paper. I'm using the Petal Garden Designer Series pack, and I've chosen my 3 sheets, and they've each got to be scored and burnished. I'm going to show you how I did one, because it'd be boring if I showed you how I did all of them. So we're going to score in half at 3, score in half at 3, and then just do one diagonal. I'm going to do that diagonal because I quite like that. So just the one diagonal. I got mine lined up, so I've drawn 6x6. I mean down the 6 line on my thing. So we are going to fold and burnish each of the score lines, and I'm going to do it in both directions because you want this to be nice and pliable, because you've got like a, I suppose, a concertina effect on your album, so you want your paper to oblige, to do what it's told. So we'll now fold the diagonal, and I like to stick it in the corner of my scoring board, so that even though it's scored, I just want to make sure that it is actually the right diagonal. So you end up with 2 bits that are nicely still in a square, and then you've got these that are scored, and you will fold it under so you make a nice square. And I just take my bone folder and do that, and then I like to do it the other way, because until you assemble, well, for me anyway, until I assemble, I don't know which way round I'm going to do it. So that's what you end up with, and you need 3 of those. So I'm going to do the 3 and come back to you. So I've done my 3 pieces. I've not done them the same because I wanted them to look slightly different. So I'm going to have that, I think, as the front cover. So these 2 will go like that, and then that one in the middle. I'm going to reverse it so that we've got, so you match the ones that are a flat square up together and have your triangles poking up, and then I'm going to swip it over and it'll look like that on that side. You can alternate it, so you do it that way instead, and this is where your decision's got to be made as to which way you want it to go. I'm going to do it that way. I quite like that. We're going to matte layer and all sorts on it to decorate the album. So yeah, So what you need is a bit of snail, and you're just going to apply it to this square bit without the score line in the middle. As it's DSP to DSP, snail will work. So nice coverage over there, and then just line it up on the square. I'm going to use my grid mat to help me, because you want it to be right. So I'm going to line that up there on the grid mat and take it across. So that is stuck on there, and then we're going to do the same with that one. So it's easier, I think, to stick that to that. So I prefer that one. Do I? Yeah, I think so. So put it over. Oops. You can, of course, use fast fuse, and I guess if it was going to be something that was going to be open and closed often, that maybe fast fuse would be the way to go. So again, I'm going to line that up on my grid mat so that I make sure I get it straight, and line that up to the grid mat, and then that should be nice and straight, like so. And then to close it up, close up the middle, close up the two ends, and that's the basis for your little album. And then it should, with practice, just go in and out quite nicely. So we've got a blank one in the middle there, and blank ones on the outside there, but we are going to mat this and decorate it. So I'm going to cut out my pieces and come back to you. So I've decorated using the large stitched square die, and I've done some sort of photo spots here. So I've done that in clips of coral, and it fits nicely into the square that's there. And then I just cut out of a sort of one of the other papers that were similar. I just cut some pattern squares and cut them in half, and I'm going to stick those on here. And what I've done is I'm going to make some pockets, and to make the pocket, what I did was I took my bone folder and then I just sort of curled it to slightly stretch the paper, so that when it's stuck down, it will enable a little tag. And I've used the tag punched it out in clips of coral, and then cut some little rectangles which are 1 inch by 1 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to stick my pocket down. So we want to stick it down the long side and the diagonal and leave the top open. And I'm going to use Tombow. If you're making pockets for scrapbooks, I find liquid glue is best, because tape runner or tear and tape type adhesive always remains a little bit sticky, and so whereas the wet glue will dry and there won't be any sort of residue left, and your tags will go in and out really nicely without any stickiness. I made one album where I did it all with a tape runner for quickness, and all me tags sort of slightly stuck a bit. So I learnt that lesson. So I'm just lining that up at the top, folding it over, because it's liquid glue, I've got a bit of wigglage for keeping it straight. And then that will slip nicely in and out of there. You can't have it too long because it's a triangle. And so I'm just going to stamp some little messages on there. So I'll do the same in the other corner. So if I remember which one's the top. Easily confused me. I've done it. I am easily confused. I've bent that one. I think I put the wrong one. Because when that goes there, I want it to be there. That's where I'm going wrong, you see. So that bit needs to stay open, so I'm going to glue down here. Oh, if I had brains, it'd be dangerous. There we go. Stick that one there. Got some slight oozing, but I'm going to tidy all that up with my little rubber thing. And then I'm going to make another tab over here. I love this tab topper punch. It's amazing. Because I like scrapbooking. And I'm also going to use it in my planner. So it'll be great. And I'm going to use some of the stickers with the stamp set that goes with it. And I'm going to put some little messages on here. Obviously you can't write too much on there, but it is just a little something. And that will go in there. I'm just waiting for it to dry a bit. I don't want to force it too much at the moment. And then these, I'm just going to stick down, just breaking up the pattern. And then I'm going to stick photos and do some journaling and do some stamping. But I haven't yet quite decided what I'm doing. I'm just making it look pretty at the moment. And these would make nice gifts, and then people can decide themselves what they're actually going to stamp on them, depending on what they're actually remembering. It could be a single event, it could be multitudes of events. I'm doing, my niece is going to be 40 next week, so I'm going to make this for her. So I'm going to stick photos on here of the last 40 years basically. Obviously you can't stick too much, so I'm going to sort of pick out some highlights and stick it on. But so remembering a birthday like that is good, or you could do it for a holiday or wedding. I go to weddings and I take pictures of lots of things, like, you know, all the table decorations and things like that, the bouquet, kind of, you know, and it's the invite. And so this would be a nice little sort of memory of that. And then I did the other side already. So on this side I've matted with white for the photos. I've got my little tags there that go in and out nicely. And then I just broke it up with some different colours. And I say I'm going to do all sorts of different things on that. On this side I haven't put anything on here because that's actually going to be the cover, and so I will stick things on that when I decide to decorate, how I decide to decorate, so I shall show you that in a bit. So, and it all folds up. Fold that one in first. As it's got stuff stuck to it now, you've got like a bit of weight to sort of help. And then this folds in, and those tabs will go to the outside. And so you'll sort of see them sticking out a bit. And and then I'm going to work out how I'm going to do the closure. So I'm going to get that done. I'll do a bit of stamping and come back to you to show you the final product. Okay, so I have been doing a little bit of decorating. I've used a little bit of a leaf pattern going on here, and I used the leaf from the Happy Birthday Gorgeous and just stamped it twice, going down there in garden green to match that. Just double checking. Old olive, in fact. Old olive, not garden green, to match that. And on the back we flip it over. I've done it down there, so that's like sort of tone on tone. I quite liked that look. And I've finished off the little tags using the matching tabs for everything stamp set that goes with the punch. And so I stamped different stamps plus the circle, and then cut them out with a 3/4 inch circle punch to fit on. And I did all sorts of different things. So that one's a bit of a thumbs up there saying wonderful. I put that on both sides, and I can write things in. Kind of depends what photos I put on here as to what I might say in there, so I haven't quite decided. This one's party, celebrate, because obviously we're going to be having a party, and I used the emoji there, and you're my fave, from one of my, I love this stamp set because it's so in, isn't it? Everybody texts, you know, everybody uses emojis. So I thought that as well as making some amazing cards for teenagers, or anybody really, that some of these sentiments are really quite nice and small, so they fit really well for this type of project. So I've put there a little smiley with heart eyes, and then happy birthday and a cake on the back of there. And I can't see where it's come from. Oh, it's come from the other side, hasn't it? And then this one, she is really into elephants, but also elephants is about not forgetting something. So I've put remember both sides, so we can put a little something there that I want to remember that might be corresponding to the picture I choose, and then a little heart and fabulous, because she's a bit fabulous. Okay, so then I haven't decorated any further on the inside, because it really does depend on what photos I stick in here as to what I'm actually going to be writing. And so, you know, there's lots and lots of sentiment stamps that I've got that I sort of thought I would sort of use in here, but until I know what I'm sticking in, I won't be able to, but I will post the finished product, so you can see what it looks like. So all that's required now is the front and the fastening. So we just fold it up. As you can see, it does, once you've worked it, it does fold up really well. So I'm doing that's the front. I kind of wanted party and fabulous to be sort of what we see. So I'm going to make that the front. I mean, the front and the back actually look exactly the same. So I needed to incorporate, decided to go for a ribbon fastening. So I'm using our thin Calypso Coral ribbon. Could have done the old olive. It does come in all the colours to match this set. So I could have chosen a different colour, but I decided to go with the Calypso Coral. My ribbon's not on a reel because I did a ribbon share so that I could, I participated in ribbon share, I didn't do one, so that I could have a little bit, a metre of each ribbon, so I can decide which ones I want to do. So I'm going to stick it down at the front so that I can fold it in a kind of a parsley way, and I'm going to attach it with, because she's 40, with the numbers 40. And I've gone with Old Olive. I did try it with clips of coral. I did cut it out with clips of coral. I would have changed the ribbon with that, but I actually thought that there's too much clips of coral on the actual front of it, so I discarded that. And for that, of course, I've used the number of years stamp set and the large number framelit dies. I love this set, use it all the time. I don't, you know, being able to put numbers, you know, especially on kids' cards, they like to see their number, don't they? And then of course all the big numbers, the, you know, the 21st, the 30th, the 40th, the 50th, 60th, etc. They're really good. And you've also got this little flower that you can use, which is really, really lovely. So I was going to do it with just the plain colour card, but I actually think that having a little bit of a border of white around it is really good. So I'm just going to stick the ribbon in place underneath. I'm going to hold it in place with the numbers. So I am going to use a bit of Tombow so that I get a good stick, but I am going to use a little glue dot to hold the ribbon down so it don't fly away whilst I'm doing it. So I'm going to go kind of under where that 0 is likely to be. Just so the ribbon's sort of held in place. I kind of eyeballed that for where the middle-ish is. So I'm going to put a bit of Tombow around this. And stick that on there. Put that sort of straight on my grid mat, so kind of, yeah. With Tombow, just hold it for a couple of seconds and it takes really quickly. There we go. And then do the same with my 4. I've managed to make, there we go. Got a bit of wigglage, that's another good reason for using. I went so quiet then, didn't I? I was so concentrating. I'm getting this right. There we go. And then with this, you get all your nuts, nuts, to say whether or not it's a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 2nd, etc. And you get a little banner bit to go with it. So I've stamped them. And there is a die to match this, and I have to say, I don't think I've ever used the die to cut this bit out because it's so easy. I just use scissors to cut this bit out, and I'm just going to stick that actually on top of the 0. So we've got 40th, and shall I dimension it? No, because I think it's going to have too much. I think that'll be, because we kind of want it to fold flat when it's open. So now you can do, and I have done this in the past, got a little banner there, and I could put happy at the top, 40th, and birthday at the bottom, but I decided to just use the banner here with the little happy birthday. I like that font, and then I used the matching punch to cut that out. I quite like that, so I'm just going to stick that at the bottom I think, for her. Again, a bit of Tombow. And then I just need to tie my bow. So, taking it round the back, cross it over, bring it down the front, and then I'm going to just simply tie a bow and that, and that's that. And I think she'll like that. I think that's quite cute. Tell me what you think. I like the way the colours all coordinate. Maybe I could have used a different colour ribbon. I don't know. I like it. She'll like it. And now I've just got to put some photos in. So I'll put some photos in, and if they're not too scary, I'll share it with you. Thanks for watching. Everything will be in my blog, nigezza.blogspot.com, and then it'll be linked to my shop if you want to buy any of these beautiful products. Okay, see you later. Bye.